Thanks for joining us. We're talking radius rods because everybody's got questions. There's all kinds of different information out there. We're going to kind of lump it all up into one to kind of clarify everything. So we're starting with NRP. Here we're showing you these. The reason being is for feature set, price point, yes, they are a higher price point, but feature set, they give you the most bang for your buck and longevity. We're going to talk straight radius rods, arched radius rods, two heims, single heims, adjustable, anodized, FK, PFTE, different breakdowns of all these different things we'll go over and touch on. Just so when you're shopping around, we have a lot of different radius rods on our site, a lot of different manufacturers out there that are out in the market, and they use a lot of different terms, so let's just kind of touch on them. So a lot of times you see straight radius rods and you see arched radius rods. The big difference is a straight radius rod is traditionally used for higher speed racing, not so much rocky terrain, more of a desert dune straight kind of open area where you don't need that clearance around the rear because you're going over logs, rocks, all that different stuff. The other reason you use straight radius rods in racing in that is because if you bend one, you might have a shot of straightening it back out on the racetrack and going. Where if you mangle or something here, there's going to be so much destruction to your buggy anyways, because these things are so strong nowadays that chances you bending one are slim to none. But if you had a shot to try to straighten one on a racetrack or out there, a straight radius rod at least gives you that hope and a slight chance of being able to do it. Where these, if you mangle one of these, you're not bringing it back. It's a total replace. But let's touch on colors. Everybody asks, raw, powder coated, anodized. Raw, the reason why so many people like raw, one, you can shine it up and you can polish it, right? They're all billet, so you can polish it to shine it up. The nice thing is if you ding, dent, scratch one of those, you can also just buff it back out, and you won't lose any of the coloring on there if you do hit something with it. So everybody, a lot of people like the raw finish because they'll polish it back. If the scratches are there, they can sand it back down and polish it back without losing any of the color. Anodized is a little bit nicer than powder because powder will chip off when you hit things, where anodized, when it gouges it, it's actually into the metal a little bit, so you do get a little bit of depth. So if it scratches a little bit, it'll show a little color still, but unfortunately once you go deep enough, even though it's into the metal, you will start to see the raw color. So we do have all those different options on there. Pretty much every manufacturer will do anodized and raw. Some will do powder, like UTV has powdered colors for their X3 line, not for their Razor line. NRP does all different color anodizing and raw for both Polaris and X3. So let's talk about how they do the different angles. Some manufacturers on the X3 will do a real sharp bottom, a straight mid, and a straight top. Some will do, in NRP's case, will do a mid here and a high here, a little higher here, and a straight on the top, which maxes out all that travel you can get there to get your bottom the highest it can possibly be. They're all great features, but you will, if you actually measure them down, when you get a bend in all two of the three, you actually get the most out of it because of the angle that they can get. The Razor having two, they just put the max angle in there they can because the top adjuster is always straight on every machine. So when you look at a lot of these, you're looking at strength points, you're looking at how it's milled out for the thickness. These are some of the thickest ones you can get. NRP is nice because they're double milled. A lot of the rave right now is a double mill. NRP's been doing it for a while, where they anodize the whole thing and then they mill out the accents to really make it pop for you. But one of the biggest differences that you're going to shop around and look at radius rods is the joints. So when you see a big price jump in any one of these, it's about the heim. Okay, so like a direct fit will actually have two of these joints on both ends. This joint here will be here instead of a heim. So this heim gives you the ability to screw it in and out and give you more length or shorten it. Where the direct fit will have two of these on both ends, so you cannot adjust the toe or the Casper cam or any of the adjustment on there without the heim joint to be able to adjust it. So when you see with a direct fit or something along those lines, they're running these ends on there because you can't adjust them. They're direct, same size, same length as an OEM. It just goes on there. It doesn't give you any of that freedom, which if you're not going crazy and everything else, it's a great option because then you don't have can't really screw up the travel at all on the wheels. So you will see a double heim. This is considered a double heim adjustable. So there's heims on both ends. A nice part about the heims that NRP do give you, they give you the rubber bushing in here. This allows it to not roll over. So the misalignment spacers in there cannot roll over when it's against the mounting point. I think they're really the only ones that are doing this for their joints in general. But that's kind of your joint feature set when you're shopping it. Now the type of joint is the other big jump in price. So NRP uses FK, made in Connecticut, all made in America. They have two variants of it. They have their standard and they have their JMX. The JMX is a true PFTE joint, meaning that it is covered, it's a different material, not nylon, all the way across inside the joint. If you look on our product page for the NRP, you will see one cut in half, and you can see how much the nylon joint covers half to 3/4 compared to a PFTE that goes all the way across. You can also tell a joint that is a JMX is the inner race in here is actually thicker. So you'll see some with just the single line in here. This actually has a double line. It's kind of hard to see, but we'll try to zoom in there. So you can see the double line. They're actually a thicker joint. That's what makes them so durable. Yes, there's a big price increase. That's one of the biggest reasons why the price goes up is the durability of the joint. These are made, FK are made in America. Yes, other manufacturers will say they have PFTE, and they might be designed kind of the same way, but it doesn't necessarily mean they're made in America. When you're looking for joints, FK is the leader in it. So a couple manufacturers and a couple of their products use it, Madigan, CT Raceworks, and NRP. NRP uses it for their standard and their upgrade JMX. Others will use it for just their upgrade options because there is a price increase drastically because of what they are. An FK JMX true PFTE joint has got years of service on it. The squeaking goes away. You don't have to oil them because on a nylon injected, that nylon is injected in there, it wears faster, doesn't cover all the way across the joint, and that's where you start to get that squeak, is that metal on metal. Some people add a little oil to it to kind of tame it down, but that's where it's coming from. Where these give you both options. They are in stock, they ship, like everything on our site is free shipping. Cashback rewards, check out our American Rewards program. These ship within 24 to 36 hours. They're all traditionally stocked unless there's a production run on them. They ship locally. So if you have any questions or concerns, let us know. I hope this summed it up because there is a vast difference in them. So when you're shopping around, if you have any questions, reach out to us, shoot us an email, text us. We're happy to share our thoughts on them. But traditionally, that's kind of the different points that you're looking at when you're shopping around radius rods. So get out there, ride. Let us know if you need anything. Thanks.